Can you give us an update on Jeremy?
I know he's with our trainer right now, so I'll find out after he gets done with him.
But you're not expecting him to play tomorrow, I assume.
I'd list him as doubtful.
Wanted to ask you about Jaden. Obviously, he shot it so well from three this year. Is there room to get him more shots?
Hopefully. And at the same time, because he shot it well, people are taking that away and focusing on it. The great thing is last year he was so effective getting to the free throw line and getting to the rim, too. And I think down this stretch run, hopefully we can get both of that from him. So if they're going to close out hard, take away the three, let's get him to the rim, get him to the free throw line.
Scott, you guys obviously didn't need another injury, but is there a next man up in that guard rotation? Because y'all started the season with such good depth there, but is there anybody that you would look to try to get some more minutes?
Jason has obviously played some minutes, and we expect him to play tomorrow. So, and then from there, we have options, but obviously none of them have had minutes yet.
After the TCU game, VJ mentioned kind of needing to string wins together, obviously, to increase that resume for the NCAA tournament. Just how much do y'all talk about the net and where y'all need to be for the NCAA tournament, and how much of it is just the next game?
Yeah. I think that's really a tough thing in coaching, because you want the urgency and you want the focus and to understand the importance. At the same time, you don't want it to become where that becomes pressure, and then now you get tight and don't play well. So I think there's a fine line. Are they aware? Absolutely. Do we want to string a bunch of wins together? Absolutely. But so does everybody in the Big 12, and that's why you really got to control what you could control, and hopefully defensively we make shots tough on them. And if they make tough shots, you got to give them their due. And if we have breakdowns, we hopefully can have fewer and fewer of them as season goes on, so that they have to earn everything. And then offensively, when we miss shots, we got to get offensive rebounds. And when we ever get a chance to get easies, we need to.
Have you noticed a momentum shift or maybe a wake-up call in your guys from Sunday to today?
I think after that game, definitely none of us were proud of the outcome. And that's real, and hopefully we respond in the right way. I mean, after the Arizona game, I thought we were hungry for a win, and just because you want to win doesn't mean the other person doesn't either. And I think with our injuries, our margin of error isn't great, so we have to be on point each and every play because it all matters.
Are you concerned at all about the rebounding numbers that you saw from that last game, and how are you getting the players to get on the glass maybe a little bit harder? Yeah,
that's tough too, because it's hard to practice when you have limited guys, because the last thing you want to do is get someone injured, and you don't have a lot of days to practice. With that, I think that's one thing you try to always look at the numbers, and because they don't lie. And second half, they missed 15 shots, they got 8 of them. But still, we outscored them second chance points 19-10. So would you like to have done better on the glass? Yes. But was that the reason we lost? No, because if it was based on second chance points, we'd have won the game. So traditionally, we've been a good offensive rebounding team. And I'd rather have the second chance points than number of rebounds always. But they had timely rebounds down the stretch, and that really hurt.
Scott, is it getting any easier going up against your former assistants now that there are 2 of them in the conference?
No, it always stinks. The only good thing is you get a chance to see them, and I know that's short-lived, and one of us will be in a good mood come Thursday morning, and the other won't. And we know what it feels like not to be in a good mood, and we know what it feels like to be in a good mood. The great thing is, again, you always appreciate seeing family, friends, and Coach Tang is family.
What do you see from Coach Tang's team?
Coach Tang's team, like a lot of teams this year, just trying to get in a groove, figure things out. And I think a lot of times teams that have had guys for 2, 3, and 4 years, they're basically you just see a more familiarity. You see layers. It's like if Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, they're just able to get further along than a team that's brand new, that's more just Algebra 1. And the complexity, they know what they're doing, when they're doing it. I mean, even you look at our team, you had guys finishing the game last game, and it was our first close game at home, right? And, I mean, a lot of new experiences for a lot of them. So the only way you get experience is by being in those situations. Unfortunately, when you don't have a lot of experience, there's more uncertainty.
You mentioned those guards at the end of the bench haven't gotten a lot of minutes, but, you know, how do you balance that with the injuries that you've got? And, you know, like, is there a chance to get an Omar, like, 2 or 3 minutes at a time, or whoever it might be, Davidson, Hubbard, or? No,
definitely. In hindsight, you go back and you always look, and you should have done this, should have done that. At the same time, I think whatever the staff feels gives us the best chance to win, we're going to do. And with the roster configuration, I mean, just plain and simple with NIL, I think a lot of teams are top heavy, and used to be it had 13 scholarship guys, and nowadays there's bigger gaps in your team and not as much depth because of that. And it's hard to keep people don't want to come in and be the 12th man, the 11th man, the 10th man. They want to come in and be a top 8 man, top 7 man. So a lot of intricacies go into it.
Scott, a Immortal 10 game. Just your thoughts on that. And I don't know how many times we would have actually played on the anniversary, but tomorrow is the anniversary of that.
And that I mean, if you could play on the anniversary, I mean, that just makes it that much more emotional and impactful. And it's part of our school's history, and we've done a great job honoring the Immortal 10, and that means a lot.
As far as the depth that you coach in the NIL era, is there a solution in your mind to securing that depth that once was?
Yeah, I think all of us are learning, and all of us are going through it at the same time. And I think if you don't have enough depth, the next year you make sure you have more depth. And I think everybody's trying to just figure out who's available to play in college, and then from there put the best roster together with the means that are necessary and what you're allowed to spend. And at the end of the day, that's really what it is. It's roster configuration, trying to figure out again. How all that meshes together. I would expect year 2 everybody's better at it than last year for sure. But at the same time, I'm just speaking from some things will never change, and that is people always want to play and no one wants to sit. And so you have to have quality depth, and that's not always easy to get. I think you see that in football at the quarterback position. Everybody needs a second quarterback because there's a good chance the first one gets hurt, but no one wants to go to a school and be number 2. So it's not easy to do. And then when you get multiple people injured in the same position, it really makes it hard. So again, we'll figure it out.
Going back to the Immortal 10, with so many guys who are new to Baylor on this team, do y'all go about kind of talking about what this game means and just what that event kind of means to Baylor?
Yeah, definitely, you explain that to, and you're right. Normally people play in that game 5 times, 4 times, 3 times in their career. So, and that is a blessing, having a lot of new players. Is we get to prepare champions for life for more people. And that's spiritual, it's academic, character formation, and athletic, and obviously pass on all the values and characteristics that we believe in here at Baylor.
BJ, just how much are y'all looking forward to getting back out there to, get a win back on the board?
It's important for us to go out there and get a dub. It's mandatory, to be honest. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but we're just trying to get back on the right track. Get everything flowing back in the direction we need it to go.
Coach said, you'd have to kind of look back at film to see how it all happened, but getting out rebounded 41-25 by a team that's not a really good rebounding team. Have y'all figured out exactly what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in the press, that they just out toughened us. That was the main thing. Now we know what it takes to be able to win games. It comes down to rebounds and stuff like that. So little second chance points, missed free throws and stuff like that, things that win games. So that was the deciding factor in the whole game.
After the game a couple nights ago, you mentioned that you need to string some wins together to, get a bid to the NCAA tournament. How much is that kind of on y'all's mind as y'all enter this back half of the season?
Nah, we know what's the main goal. I feel like every team's main goal is to win a national championship. And in order to win a national championship, you got to get to the tournament. And in order to get a tournament, you got to get wins. So we know that getting wins is important. It's a big factor, and it's a big factor in this right now. We just, like I said, we're trying to get back on the right track. That's the main thing for us, man. We just got to get back on the right track. And on this whole stretch, this last couple of stretch of games, because we're in mid-season right now, so this last stretch of games, man, we just gotta do what we have to do to get wins. That's the main thing.
After TCU, you talked about how any turnaround would have to start in practice specifically. Have you noticed any big difference in the way y'all have been approaching practice this week?
Yeah, we only had one practice so far, going into one right now, but the approach has been different. You can feel the vibe in the arena. You can feel the intensity. So like I said, we just gotta, now we're down Jeremy. So we just gotta be more connected. We have to be more connected, and we have to win games. And like I said, it starts in practice, because what we practice, how we practice, how we gonna play. It's not just gonna change right away. So yeah.
With the way Jaden has shot the ball from three this year, is there room to get him more shots from outside?
I mean, he definitely can get more shots. He's not focused on getting more shots. He's just focused on winning. That's the main thing. He don't care about how much shots he shoot or anything. He's a winner. So I know he's a competitor too. So obviously he hates losing. So whatever it takes for us to win is what he would do for sure.
Tomorrow is the Immortal 10 game. Have they told y'all much about that and what that means?
Yeah, I know coming to school, you got to do your history. You got to do your research on the history. So I know the history behind that. Coach Tang, he won a championship here with Coach Drew. They're really good friends, stuff like that. So we know that this game is important. But we got to treat it like every other game. Go there, the same approach, same mindset in the games that we won. Got to go there and do the same thing. So yeah.
Off that you had, and how good was it to be back out there the other day?
I mean, it's hard. You do everything you can to stay healthy, put yourself in position to play. And then in my case against Utah, when the guy stepped on my ankle, he forced it to roll. So, it was out of my control. So it was just hard being out, not being able to help my team, my brothers. But, they're with me through the whole process. And obviously, I was able to play Sunday against TCU. I was on minute restriction, what hurts. But just being on the court again as someone who's been hurt in the past is just a blessing. Just got to thank God for that.
Does the minute restraint, does that continue? And how frustrating is it? You come back, Jeremy goes down. I mean, how difficult is that, just the way the season has gone?
I feel like the minute restriction thing, it just depends on how my body feels. Honestly, I just have to be honest with myself and the trainers and the coaching staff. And then in terms of our team, I feel like we just haven't had the best luck of the draw when it comes with injuries. Lang still hasn't really played for real. Roach has gotten down twice now. I've been in and out. VJ missed a game. A bunch of people have been hurt. So we haven't really been full strength, but at the end of the day, it's the cards we're dealt. We can't sit up here and make excuses. We just got to figure it out and get the job done.
Do you feel like this team maybe needed a wake-up call on Sunday, and how do you feel like that's maybe motivating you guys heading into tomorrow?
It was a wake-up call for sure. I wouldn't say we needed it, because I feel like we needed the win more than the wake-up call. But obviously we learned a lot from that game, and hopefully what we learned, it just translates and we go on a little stretch of a little win streak, So to answer your question, I'm not sure we needed the wake-up call, but we for sure learned from it, 100%.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of Jeremy going down. Just kind of how does that impact this team on the court, of course, but also just kind of like the mentality of playing for him and maybe when he's down?
Yeah, I mean, having Roach go down, you guys, everyone knows who Jeremy Roach is. Was at Duke for 4 years at Baylor. Now, like, he's one of the best guards in the country. So losing just someone of that caliber on any team is big. Nevertheless, a team that's already a little bit shorthanded. But we're starting to build this brotherhood that we have amongst each other. And when one brother goes down, you just gotta play for him because he gave it all he can. Because like that play where he got hurt, that actually gave us a chance for Jalen to hit the shot, and it gave us a chance to win the game. You know, so it sucks, but we just gotta play for him.
As someone who's been around the block a little bit, what are you and the older players telling some of the younger players on this team about rebounding and getting back into the flow of things to get a winning streak?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been around the block for a long time. It's my 5th year. Same thing with we have a bunch of vets on this team, honestly. So we know that it's a long season. Even though like tough times are like here right now, we're going through like a little turbulence right now. We have I don't know the exact number. We have more than 10 games left, and hopefully even more than that. We make a run to tournament, all that. So. We can't get caught up on the TCU game. We just, like I said earlier, you just have to learn from it, go from there, and just put your best foot forward because you feel sorry for yourself. Nobody else does. You know, like Kansas State's not going to feel sorry for us on tomorrow. So, yeah.
You didn't actually have any free throws in the game on Sunday, but as a team, it was a little bit of a uneven game from the free throw line. I mean, y'all made them in the second half, but how do you get past that? Is it? I mean, do you talk your way through it, or you just can't think about it at all, or like?
In terms of just getting to the line more, or like making free throws, just everything. I feel like naturally speaking, we're a good free throw shooting team. We just have to get to the line more, me included. Like I feel like I'm a pretty good free throw shooter. I just haven't gone to the line as much as I'd want to. So obviously that's been an emphasis what we've been working on and things of that nature. But not like I kind of similar to the other question. You just can't. You miss some free throws, you can't let that get into your mentality because then you're gonna hit it's a slippery slope. Once you start thinking like that, it just starts coming down. So it's a long season. We just gotta go on to the next one. Our shooters know they're gonna make the free throws, big games tomorrow, shoot for the rest of the season. So yeah.
After the TCU game, VJ mentioned just needing to get some wins together to kind of secure a spot in the NCAA tournament. Do y'all talk or think about kind of the net rating and all that stuff, what it takes to get to the tournament, or is it more just one game at a time?
A little bit of both. Like obviously the end goal is to win it all. But to win it all, we have to get to the tournament. So there's a bunch of baby steps that lead to the end goal. But so we think about it, but at the same time, you can't think. You got to be where your feet are. Right now, we lost TCU. We're in between that and the Kansas State game. It's our job to bounce back, respond, and after that, go to the mountains, go to Utah and BYU, and just keep putting our best foot forward and going from there. So to answer your question, it's honestly just a bit of both, in all honesty.